and it's
So-
being recorded right now.
So we can get started while you're,
Yes.
okay. Good evening. This is the regular meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals of the Town of Newcastle. Today is November 18th, 2020. Mr. Secretary?
First case is Schenkel. Me. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Can I share the screen? Is that the best way to do it? Show my presentation?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Can I take it now? I guess, see what happens. Okay. Right, let me, okay. Can you see that?
You
Okay.
can.
That's where I live, 15 Granite Road. It's near the West Orchard School up from Gedney Park. It's an odd shaped lot, like 450 feet long. And it's like 100, it tapers, but like 120 feet wide. And so by the regular zoning for 1 acre, you couldn't build anything on the site. Whoops. So I bought the lot as a raw lot from somebody else who went 20 something years ago and got variances to build essentially like a 35-foot deep house. And so there's the old survey. So this is 42 feet from the back bump. And so what I want to do is I want to put a little generator off to the side. I want to center it on the chimneys. I'll show you the plans just because I'd rather not have it in front of a window. Seems like the best place to put it. And I didn't realize that, I always thought that I had this band that I could build in. I couldn't, go further back, but apparently every time I want to do something, I've never done anything, I need to get another variance, I guess. So
Well, you're a pre-existing non-conforming use.
okay.
That is, your property doesn't comply with the current zoning code. So when you built the house, you must have been in compliance, or received a previous variance.
Yeah, the house got a variance. There was a variance given to build this house. And so now I want to add this full generator outside.
Okay.
So I'm right over here. West Orchard School is here. Granite Court is here. A little closer, this is my house here. We pretty much saved all the trees around here. Some neighbors back here, the closest neighbors. This is kind of down a hill. This is my house, just to show you again how it's organized. There's 2 windows on either side of the chimney here, and I want to center it on the chimney. The panels in the garage here. I've got air conditioning condensers over here, so it's not going to fit. So it seems like the most logical place. This is the front of the house. And I want to put on the right side. This is the right side of the house. You can see the 2 air conditioning condensers. The panel is right behind here. I want to put it centered on this chimney. Chimney is 6 feet wide. The unit is 4 feet wide. The pad underneath it, there's a 3-inch precast pad that's 5 feet wide. Zoom in a little bit again. So it's easy. I can pick up the bluestone, set it here, and go underground and pop into the garage here, and then go up and over and connect to the, to the panel in the garage.
How are you going to power the generator?
Propane. So I want to dig back here and bury propane. And again, then I can, go underground, pick up the bluestone panels and connect to, to connect to the generator. These are the views in the back. So this was a view I took when we first started this. And then I figured I'll take one when the leaves fall down. This is the closest neighbor. You couldn't possibly see it. This is a little stain from where my firewood used to be stacked. So that's where I want to put it. Again, another view. Some context of the house and the neighbors again. Going back
Do you
here.
have a gas connection in your house?
There's no natural gas here, believe it or not. Even with the elementary school, there's no gas. So I have a gas
None in the
stove.
country.
I have a gas stove and I have a small, like, I guess 40-gallon tank in the back, in the back of the house that just does the gas stove. I may get rid of that. We'll see. So again, I want to put it over here. It's out of the way from the driveway and the parking areas. And again, it's out of the windows. These are the 2 windows. On top of that, literally on top of that, the master bedroom, it's the same 2 windows. Photos there. Just pictures of the house again. And again, pictures where I want to put it in front of the chimney, kind of not see it and not have anything come in. So here it is. So again, this are all the dimensions. So 42 feet, 42 feet to this bump over here, 6 inches. You know, the back of my house is reasonably flat because I couldn't build any further back. And so if I put a 3x5 pad, Tom says I have to call the pad my new construction, 15 feet. The unit itself is only 4 feet. It's 25 inches wide. It's 28.6 inches high. I mean, it's like a big, air conditioning condenser. And again, just as something relevant, if I slid it over here, I wouldn't be in front of you guys now. I'm allowed to do this but I don't. I'm an architect. I'm actually the chairman of the Architecture Review Board. So I like things to be orthogonal and centered. Plus again, I don't want to see it, and it seems like the safest place. This is the model. These are just cut sheets I submitted. So that's the dimensions. Again, it's 48 by 25 by 28 inches high.
Okay, I think that's fine, Mr. Schenkel.
Whoops, me.
Anyone on the board have any questions?
I have one question. I noticed on your chimney, Mr. Schenkel, there's a combustion air inlet right at the lower part of your chimney in the center. Is the generator exhaust going to conflict with that combustion air inlet in any way? Does the building department have any opinion on that?
Tom told me to stay at least 18 inches. I'll probably pull out, 2 feet or whatever is intelligent. Tom, is that right?
Manufacturer requires a minimum of 18 inches, and the exhaust is facing away from that port. We did look at that upon review.
No, there's no problem. Thank you.
Tom came to the house and saw it. I asked him to come take a look.
Mr. Chair, I had one question.
Yes, sir.
On the application, the application form, it says, has any other application been made to the zoning board for this property? It was answered no. I heard the applicant state he did receive a variance for the house. Was that correct?
I didn't. The person I bought it from did.
Okay, the person you bought it from. I just, wanted, usually we like to see the prior, variance approvals just to make sure there's nothing in there, any conditions or anything that we should be aware of. But are you aware from the prior variance whether there was anything in there that restricted, further restricted anything on this property? I mean, because I haven't looked at that, so I wasn't aware that a variance was granted. So.
No, to my knowledge, there was, at the top and the bottom, there was a line, and the house had to fit within those lines.
I mean, I don't have a problem going forward, but I just, make the board aware there was the prior variance granted, so.
Okay,
The house was approved and signed off, which complied at the time. So I built the house, but I didn't get the variance. The prior owner did.
Pam, is there anyone in the queue who wishes to speak to this matter?
No one has their hands raised at all.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing.
I'll second that.
Chairman Kenneth Cooper,
In favor?
Anthony Giardina,
Aye.
Harvey Bonaparte,
Aye.
Howard Dubs,
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
I'll make a motion. I'll move that the Schenkel application for a 2-foot 10-inch rear yard variance for the installation of a generator be approved for the following reasons. This is a pre-existing non-conforming lot. There will be no change in the character of the neighborhood. There are no neighbors who have appeared in opposition. The benefit cannot be sought by other means. The variance is not substantial. There will be no adverse effect or impact on the physical environment. And the alleged difficulty was not self-created. Bill, 6 months to start, 1 year to complete. Tom, do you need any as-built or anything?
We could take an as-built on this. We don't need a survey.
Okay,
Before we go forward,
yes.
I think the variance is 4 feet, not 2'10".
Yeah,
Yeah, Tom put 4 feet, just again, so someone doesn't take a tape measure and get me by an inch, but the reality is it's less, you know.
Yeah, well, we like to round up and give you a little bit of
Right.
help.
No, I appreciate it, but the idea is it's going to be dead center on the chimney.
Okay,
Please make that change in the motion.
I'll second the motion as changed.
Chairman Kenneth Cooper,
In favor?
Anthony Giardina,
Aye,
Harvey Bonaparte,
Aye.
Howard Dubs,
aye.
and Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Thank you. You have your variance.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, guys. Have a good night.
You're
You
welcome.
too. Good night.
next we have Pearson.
Hello, everybody. I have a very similar story to Mr. Schenkel, but maybe a less robust presentation. I also have a pre-existing non-conforming lot. I'm looking to put a generator on the side of my house where the electric feed and the propane are currently located. The side of the house is camouflaged from my neighbor by a group of shrubs, and the rest of the neighbors that were notified don't have any sight lines at all to where the generator would go. And so we're going to put the generator, I'm requesting a 15-foot variance from the property line to place the generator off the house, but along the side.
How far off of the house is the generator placement?
Approximately 15 or 20 feet.
Is that off the side yard, or that's off the house itself?
Off the house itself.
Okay.
Where does your electricity come in?
Same, it would be on the same side of the house as the generator
Okay. And how are you going to power the generator?
with propane.
Propane? You have no
Propane.
electric on in your house?
We currently have a propane.
I mean, I meant gas. Do you have a gas connection?
We currently have a gas stove that's powered by propane, and the clothes dryer is powered by propane.
But no gas connection yourself?
No, not in the neighborhood.
Really? And there's nothing in the street?
No.
Mr. Pearson, is there a reason why the generator couldn't be placed closer to the house, requiring less of a variance?
It has to do with the air conditioning compressors, and there needs to be a certain distance between the generator and the air conditioning compressors.
Okay. Pam, is there anyone in the queue to speak to this?
There is no one in the queue to speak. No.
Anyone on the board have any other questions? Comments? Make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Second,
Chairman Kenneth Cooper,
In favor?
Anthony Giardina,
aye,
Harvey Bonaparte,
Aye.
Howard Dubs,
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Who'd like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the application of Daniel and Kathy Pearson, 585 Quaker Street, for a side yard setback variance of 20 feet. No, the variance is of 15 feet, where 35 is required, for the purpose of installing a generator. it appears as though the applicant does not have any neighbors who have written in opposition. The area variance will not create an undesirable change or character to the or detriment to nearby properties. No other feasible method is available, which is likely to achieve the benefits sought by the applicant. It is apparently in the best location for his particular use. The variance, although it is 15 feet, it is not substantial considering the location and the other conditions. The variance will not have a adverse effect or impact on physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood. And this is a pre-existing non-conforming property which already requires the side yard for the side is not a self-created hardship. For those reasons, I move that we approve the application.
Harvey, I think if you could add that the applicant will provide an as-built the way Tom asked on the last.
Right, as-built survey will do 6 months to start and a year to complete.
I'll second.
Chairman Kenneth Cooper,
In favor?
Anthony Giardina,
Aye.
Harvey Bonaparte,
Aye.
Howard Dubs,
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. You have your variance, Mr. Pearson.
Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. Have a great evening. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Mellerson?
Eric,
Mellerson,
everything
is it?
okay?
Yeah, everything's fine. Sorry.
No, I saw you smiling. We don't allow that.
Somebody was joking around here. Sorry.
Okay.
I guess
Mellerson is next.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing? So, Ken, I'll jump in.
Sure.
So this is Bill Spade, the architect working with the Mellersons. We're here seeking a front yard variance for the second-story addition to the Mellersons' new home on Sawmill River Road. And I'd just like to have Stephen and May say a word to you all. Go ahead, Stephen.
Hello, everyone. Hi, how are you doing?
Good.
Yeah, we were seeking to put a second floor on our house because, you know, we're from the city and we have 2 kids and there's just not enough space here. We wanted to get them out here and have an appropriate sized house for them to enjoy, to put some bedrooms up there so that because the house right now is pretty small. And we just kind of want to bring it into line with, the way most houses are, to give our family some more room. So the 2 of them can, enjoy the place. The property itself is beautiful. The town is beautiful.
Yeah, we're very excited.
And we're very excited to move up there. Yeah, we just wanted to expand it just enough so that our family will feel comfortable in the place.
Well, if you're responsible for property values going up, we're happy to have you join the team.
Yes, thank you.
Well, great. Thank you, Stephen and May. So yeah, as Stephen's mentioning, the existing house is small. It's actually only about 949 square feet. And it was a 3-bedroom. We actually had 2 bedrooms in an attic space on the second floor. So we're going to create a real legal second floor with this proposed addition. So as you see from the site plan, actually I can put up our the plan on the screen here. It's a 3/4 acre lot. It's on the east side of Sawmill River Road, heading north as you come out of Millwood. A nice property, as Stephen mentioned. You may recall, Tom's certainly aware that a little more than a year ago, this particular property, there's a accessory building that had a small explosion from a leaking gas boiler, and it demolished that adjacent accessory building. So that's going to be something the Mellersons are also going to rebuild. So the property went into foreclosure, and it has sat for the long time until the Mellersons have now purchased it. So their neighbors are very happy that work is going to start on rehabilitating the property. The existing house, and here I'll show you you see the overall property here. The existing house is pre-existing non-conforming to the zoning, and particularly that the house projects into the front yard setback. The house was built in, I think, around 1915, so it pre-existed the zoning. And so presently, the house with its front porch is about 23.5 feet from the property line, where there's a 40-foot front setback requirement. The new second floor is going to go to about 28.45 feet off the property line. So I believe we're going to seek a 12-foot variance to the 40-foot setback requirement. And you can see that the proposed second floor hatched in laid over the existing first floor. We're actually going to extend the second floor partly over the front porch, which is open air on the ground floor, and then also cantilever it in the rear by 2 feet over the rear of the first floor. But that the rear is within the setbacks, so or beyond the setbacks, I guess is the right way to say it. So there's no issue there. But we're not extending it, we're still about 5 feet from the existing front of the first floor of the house. I want to just show you a couple of photographs. And let me get back to share screen. Here is a photo of the front and left side of the house. You see it's a sort of arts and crafts style house, a nice big roof and some brackets, and sort of beautiful front porch that it has. And then there's a rear picture. Here's a picture from the rear, and it's again the one-story house, and there was some space up on the second floor, sort of like a sideways ranch style house with the second floor with some finished space in it. As you can see, the property slopes away to the rear yard. Off to the right here, you can see the remnants of the building, the accessory building that came down and is going to get rebuilt. So that's our proposal in terms of the new second floor. We're compliant with all other coverage, both the building coverage and development coverage requirements. We're compliant with the floor area ratio. So the only variance we need and seek is this front yard setback. So that's, I think, the short of my proposal. If there's any questions from anyone.
So I have a question. So there is an existing deck, and you're going over that 2 feet on either
Correct.
side?
Correct.
Okay.
I had a question. In looking at the rear photo, is the house built on? Is there a full foundation in that house?
There is. You see underneath the deck. This deck is at level with the first floor. Underneath the deck, there's actually a door. If you can see my cursor, yeah. There's 2 block retaining walls. You walk back to the face of the house, and there's a door into the basement. It's a full 7-foot 6-inch clear height basement, unfinished basement there.
I see. Okay.
Are you planning to rebuild that deck, or that deck is going to stay as is?
Rebuild the deck. It does need to be rebuilt. There is even a missing post over here that I think was a victim of the explosion. So, but the deck is not in great shape anyhow. We have to rebuild it.
Mm-hmm.
Bill, I'm looking at the plan. It actually shows that all you're really doing is placing a second story on top of an existing first story. So you're not enlarging the amount of the variance that you're asking for.
Correct. Correct.
Well, wait, I thought you were going 2 feet over.
On the rear of the house, we're cantilevering over 2 feet, but the rear of the house, you see my cursor circling it. The rear of the house is beyond the setback line, so
Right,
there's no zoning issue there.
Right, but the side of the house, you're going 2 feet over as well?
No, sorry if I confused you with my answer. No, we're flush on the
Oh, you're
side.
flush, okay.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
it's just the rear by 2 feet and the front by 3 feet over the existing porch. So we're actually not increasing any, anything on the ground,
Right.
for what is already there in terms of the footprint of the building.
Pam, is there anyone in the queue who wishes to speak to this item?
There is no one in the queue.
Okay. Any other comments or questions by the board? I make a motion, we close the public hearing.
I'll second.
Chairman Kenneth Cooper,
Favor?
Anthony Giardina,
Aye.
Harvey Bonaparte,
Aye.
Howard Dubs,
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Who'd like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that the application of Stephen Millerson for the construction of a second floor on his existing residence be approved for the following reasons. The existing residence is a legally existing non-conforming structure. If not the oldest house in the neighborhood, it's close to it. It needs a tremendous amount of work to bring it up to modern standards, and this is going to go a long way toward bringing it that way. Granting of the variance will not create an undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood. There is no other method available to achieve the benefits sought by the applicant. In this particular instance, it's not a substantial variance request, and there will be no adverse effect on the physical environment or conditions in the neighborhood. This is not a self-created hardship in that the existing structure was built before the zoning code came into effect, and the applicant is forced to comply with forced to use what he has for his improvements. And we don't need any surveys since you're not going over the existing footprint. So you'll have 6 months to start and 1 year to finish. Is that enough time, Bill?
It sounds like it's maybe that's a good question. Stephen, I think he's still there. Stephen, is there any concern you have about starting within 6 months from now and completing within 12 months?
We'd like to start it probably in the early next year. So maybe by February or March. That's
that would be within
we intend to start as early as possible. But is it possible to not put a time limit on it? Just in case
the work takes a little bit more time.
Yeah, because we are also debating to start it in the spring. It might be a better time.
Since winter's coming and all.
If we put a time limit, does it mean we have to finish it within the time?
Here, maybe I'll suggest, board, if we could do a 12-month start time and 18 months to finish.
Sounds good.
I have no problem with that. I mean,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If there's ever any problem, you could always write a letter to the board asking for more time as well. I mean, if you have a reason why you couldn't start, if something came up, all you need to do is write a letter explaining why you need the extra time. And it's, as long
I
as
was
it's
gonna, I
not.
was gonna say that we can always give you an extension. That's not a
Oh,
problem.
great. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you so much. Appreciate it.
So,
We're trying to
So-
put the money together. Okay. The money is not all in place yet.
Right.
so we'll make it 12 months to start and 18 months to finish.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, no problem.
I second.
Chairman Kenneth Cooper,
In favor?
Anthony Giardina,
Aye,
Harvey Bonaparte,
Aye.
Howard Dubs,
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Thank you. You have your variance. Welcome to the neighborhood. If you ever need to borrow money, Mr. Spade has plenty of that. So
Oh, okay. Well, ask.
Thank you.
Money. That's an expensive project.
They didn't know that they picked the right architect for this one.
Is that a Chicago Bears hat you have on too? Is that, there you
I
go.
think it's my Cincinnati Reds hat. I was born in Cincinnati.
Oh, Cincinnati. Okay.
Yeah, my great grandfather pitched for the Reds. So
Wow.
if you ever want to look up Spade in the baseball books, you'll find him. He was a beer drinking carouser, just like his great grandson.
Okay.
The way
thank you.
baseball was in those days.
Right.
The gas house game.
Right. Well, great.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. Have a good
Good
evening.
night.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much.
Bye now.
Bye.
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 Eric, were we going to discuss something else tonight?
It's really up to you. We had discussed, we were talking about the Schvill, that's the Fiddlehead Studio. It's been on the board's agenda for a very long time now. I was gonna ask Tom just to give you an update where things stand. The Schvill's attorney emailed us earlier today. I think you might have seen it. That he's not available to attend the meeting tonight. He had something else. I'm not sure if anybody else is observing, Pam, that you see at this point. I don't see anybody else.
No.
But he objected. It really, as I said, once the meeting is properly noticed, you can put an item on for discussion. This isn't a public hearing. It's merely a discussion item, but it's really up to you if you want Tom to give you an update now where things stand. We've been carrying it on the agenda for, I don't know, almost a year now. So I'm not sure what we want to do with it.
Sure. Let's hear it, Tom.
Back in mid-March, Renana Chevelle of Fiddleheads ceased doing classes due to COVID. But in the interim, her and her family have been enjoying the patio and fenced-in area behind the cooking studio for their own families. So they contacted us stating that they'd like to keep the patio and keep the fencing for their own personal use. Now, they have not been having classes along. There's been one or two small single-person private sessions, but nothing of a classroom setting with 5 pupils since the onset of COVID. But like I said, she's asking to keep the patio now, keep the fencing, and go forward with the variance.
Oh, so she does want to she does want to reapply because they had withdrawn that variance initially, and now it seems they want to go forward with it again.
They've seen a benefit in the patio for their own personal use. Yes.
Do they have to amend their application or what's the protocol?
Eric?
They withdrew it. I think it was formally withdrawn. I mean, my concern with the application is, there was a concern the patio was being used in conjunction with the special permit use before COVID, when there were classes there, and assuming someday this does all end and we go back to normal times, I think the concern is whether they're going to continue to use that patio in conjunction with the special permit. I don't know if the board has, I would think they would have to file a new application explaining why they want to use it and, how it's going to interplay with the, if there are going to have to be different conditions in the special permit based, regarding the use of that porch. So I would think that a new application should be filed then, but, I leave that up to Tom. I also would want Tom's opinion on that.
Eric, can you refresh my memory? They have a special permit now, right?
Right.
Okay, and that when that special permit was granted, did it include a variance for the patio?
No, it did not.
The patio's new, I think.
They built the patio and it required a variance, right, Tom?
That is correct, yes.
They built that, and then we started getting complaints from the neighbors in association with the use of the special permit, saying they were violating terms of the special permit.
Okay,
So there was a concern. And then at that point, procedurally, they withdrew the variance application, which actually took them, would have taken them out of the jurisdiction of this board unless the board had concerns that the conditions of the special permit were being violated. So I have a feeling if a new variance application comes in, we're going to get the same complaints from the neighbors again about the special permit use. That doesn't mean we shouldn't allow the applicant has every right to, resubmit the variance request. But I just,
So the
there were
variance is
concerns.
it's for the deck. It's for the deck now.
Patio, I think it is.
The patio. They're seeking a variance. They're reinstituting the variance for the patio
For their,
Correct, yes.
for their personal use. That's
for
what
their
they're,
personal use.
yes.
Is
And that's
the
patio is
the use of the patio
We lost Harvey.
Harvey, you froze there.
Frozen in time.
The patio is attached to the structure.
I'm sorry.
that houses the fiddlehead.
My audio is not good. Is the use of the patio in compliance with the permit?
No, it hasn't been, we haven't heard that at this point yet.
All right, so then they need to apply for a variance.
I think it's going to re-trigger the neighbors coming forward, and we're going to have to re-examine, whether, you're going to have to re-examine how the patio interplays with the special permit use at that point, assuming they come. But I do think, Tom, given the passage of time, that a new application would be necessary at this point.
When does the permit expire?
The special permit, I'm not sure.
How long have they not used it?
Due to COVID or due to other situations?
I mean, doesn't a special permit expire if it's not being used for the purpose of the permit after a certain period of
The
time?
special permit was in April of 2018.
And it
But
was
they were using it as a cooking school before COVID. So I think, the fact that they're not using it or they are actually still using it, I think just very on a limited basis, but certainly COVID would be a basis for why we wouldn't terminate the permit for non-use during COVID, I would think, So I think the answer is, Tom, they got to come back in with a new application and, for the porch, and I think it's going to re-trigger the special permit use issues with the neighbors. So, they may want to address that, and, they may be, when you speak to them, you may want to tell them to be prepared to address those issues. So
at this point, the patio needs to be incorporated with the special use permit because it would be prohibitive to stop the use of it during a class. It's adjacent and abutting to the structure.
Right.
So they could use the patio for classes.
If permitted by the board.
There were a lot of questions with this special permit, I think, about, the amount of space they could, the amount of space on the, they received a lot of variances. So this may impact the variances they receive to get the special use permit as well, if they're going to be expanding the amount of space they're using on the property. I don't know.
I thought that the original decision by the board gave them permission to make the cooking school inside the building. I never remember them or us or them saying anything about anything going on exterior.
Exactly.
So it would seem to me that if they're going to go outside, they need an amendment to their special permit if we are inclined to grant it, or they can claim their own personal use, which could be problematic in that I could see what I'm trying to say is I could see problems in the future.
Right, we'll have to discuss that if and when we get that application in, but that,
But they have every right to apply for whatever they
Right,
want to apply.
exactly.
I mean, as far as I'm not saying they shouldn't or they couldn't, they have every right to apply for whatever they feel is their desire. And it's up to them to prove that to prove to us that we should grant it
Right.
or not.
But as I recall, weren't we concerned with their adherence to the restrictions of the special permit? Or didn't we have some issues with advertising online and having more people in the class than they were supposed to? As I recall, we had a concern about that.
Correct.
Yeah, I think we still do, my opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
We did. There's a hiatus due to the COVID, but there were concerns about it certainly that were raised by the neighboring property owners, whether they were complying with all the conditions of the special permit. Yeah, I think we're in a sort of a new scenario now, and we're somewhat starting over. But if they're going to amend the special permit to allow the outside use, they're allowed, as Anthony said, they're allowed to make that application, and the board will have to decide if and when they want to, what conditions to put on that use.
So they'll have to submit a new application, new notices and so forth.
Right.
Before the next meeting so that we can hear it at the next meeting.
Or when they get it, whenever they're able to get it in, that's
right.
That would be appropriate. So.
Don't they have a choice of also just making an application for a variance for the patio?
I think they do. I think Tom was raising the issue because the patio is outside where the cooking school is located. Once they start classes again, it's going to be hard. It may be hard. I don't know. That's up to them to prove, to separate the use of the patio from the use of the cooking school and the use of the special permit use. I mean, we know the neighbors already complained that the patio was being used by the cooking school prior to the COVID pandemic, that there were kids outside on the patio as part of the cooking school process.
If they decided to abandon the special permit, then all they would need would be a variance for the patio.
Yes,
I
but they're
believe
not
so,
going to
Tom. That's
abandon the
correct,
special
right?
permit.
Yeah, I mean, if they're getting rid of the special use, then yeah, I guess the patio is attached to an accessory building, Tom, under that. If they didn't have a special permit in there, that would just be an accessory building, or?
It would be accessory building and accessory use, and they could have it by right, yes. But no cooking studio.
By right, you mean the patio would be by right, or
the accessory use of the property by right? A primary dwelling with an accessory structure.
Right.
They would need a variance for the patio because of the setback.
Right.
And then maybe their coverage calculations need to be addressed as well, but I don't remember the particulars.
Yeah, but I don't think they're giving up the special permit to continue the cooking school.
Why don't we wait to see what they have to say?
Yeah, we just have to wait. I mean,
Everything is
our only authority jurisdiction here is enforcement of the special permit conditions. And as far as Tom knows, they haven't been violating the special permit conditions during COVID. So I know, Michael, that was an issue before that. I don't know how we deal with it now, given the amount of time that's gone by. I don't know if it's worth pursuing that at this point. So my recommendation, would be to take the matter off the agenda at this point, Tom, and then they have to proceed, or else, I assume, something's got to be done about the patio then.
We will have them make a new application to the zoning board for the patio and to amend the special use permit.
Right.
Why would they need to amend the special use permit?
We've seen evidence prior to COVID that they were holding parties out on the patio in conjunction with the cooking school.
Yeah, I understand that. And that wasn't what our original intent was when we granted their use. And if they're claiming that it's for their own personal use, then the special use permit doesn't have to be amended. But what it becomes after that is an enforcement issue.
We can take that stance, yes.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, last item, just to approve the meeting minutes. I make a motion that we adopt the October 28th meeting minutes.
I'll second that motion.
Chairman Kenneth Cooper,
Favor?
Anthony Giardina,
Aye.
Harvey Bonaparte,
Aye.
Howard Dubs,
Aye.
Michael Nolan.
Aye.
Okay, Pam, we're off.
All right. Do you have to make a motion to adjourn or anything?
No, that you're too formal.
Ah!